Welcome back to Trekyards, guys. He's Commander Cock.
He's Captain Foley.
It's the first time I'm meeting all of you.
I don't think it is.
So, because I'm only I'm only a first officer. I'm the oldest first officer in the fleet.
No, don't worry. The Lieutenant Picard, he'll eventually make first officer in the timeline.
Yes.
He'll be like, that's season 4 of Picard. Alternate Picard becomes first officer finally. He's like, oh, I'm 112, a third pip.
They're here to talk about Kirk and his first meeting of Uhura, Spock, Pike. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Of the big ones being Spock right at the end. Because, even if Stranger Worlds is a visual, its own thing, which it is, and things may or may not like with canon, a la Gorn, who knows, we're still seeing their interpretation of the first meeting. Take it or leave it. That's the first time I've seen it on screen. Well, let's start with Spock, the classic. The end of the episode, he interjects in a conversation, he shakes hands, he sits down, and he listens to them talk. And that's all we hear. But what do you think of the official Stranger Worlds version of the meeting of our most famous two characters in Trek? Give or take.
I kind of like that it was in, talking about Sam. Spock has a thing to say. Now, the thing that bothered me, like I said in our review, was the shaking hands, because we know that Vulcans are touch telepaths. They don't like contact. I mean, that's been established in TOS and Enterprise. And so that was a little odd and out of the box. But as you pointed out, Spock is kind of in a weird place right now with emotions. And during the course of the next few seasons, you can see him turning more into TOS Spock. And I have no problem with that. I just want to point that out, that a lot of people are going to call that immediately, that they shouldn't have been shaking hands. But it was kind of cool. It was to establish that, hey, this is Spock and Kirk, their first meeting, and that handshake is just one of those things. So, I mean...
You had said, because you stole my point, I'll steal your point, if Kirk had instead done Vulcan salute and Spock reciprocated, that would have been a far sweeter move, because he had said Kirk would know all about Vulcans, this would not be anything special, so he would, if he made that first play, that would have really deepened that moment so much more than a handshake.
And they could have made it better, too. They could have had it been like, William Shatner could never do this. So they could have had him go, like, to kind of reference Shatner, like he's trying to do it. That would have been kind of funny as well. But, yeah, I mean, I didn't have a problem with the first meeting. It was just kind of a little underwhelming to me.
What was the last 12 seconds of the episode?
So the first meeting was with Uhura. I mean, that's just kind of interesting. So
They were the original trio of the Enterprise.
Well, they did a little bit of a chess reference earlier where he's like, you're the Vulcan over there, you just distracted him, and now he was in a position for checkmate, and now he's kind of in trouble. So we got the Kirk and Spock.
Good eyesight there. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. You got the Kirk and Spock chess thing going on. We already know that Kirk's good at chess. We saw that in Tomorrow. Yeah, that was nice too. Just small little things like that were pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was only going to be a situation of difficulty. So going as underplay as possible works actually, I think, best. Vulcan still would have been better for sure, especially if they got like the Vulcan added wrong. Like, you got half it right, half it wrong. Spock has to correct him. Would have been kind of fun, like, start of the banter. But that's all good. Worked well. Of course, he did know McCoy longer, more friends-wise. But yes, the two first people in the Enterprise are... Yeah, technically they aren't. We're super technically from the phone call, but these two people. I assume we're going to see more of them as time goes on. They've opened up floodgates. Of course, check out our video on the Fleet Admiral retcon thingy, Fleet Captain. But hey, I mean, we know the characters are a good team, kind of the definitive team in Star Trek, give or take.
Speaking of Fleet Captain,
their meeting was good. Clearly, Pike knew who Kirk was, but let's be honest. 80 ships in the fleet. Farragut's not a special ship. Sorry, it's not even a full Miranda. It's it's a saucer with 2 nacelles and some curvy struts. It ain't special. So,
but Kirk is the youngest first officer in the fleet. The word of that would get around. So
yes, but then he's got Una, so he's like, okay, yeah, mine's way better. Like, you're right, but the youngest to be something isn't necessarily because also it might be because the other person had to retire. Pike doesn't know him, is what I'm saying. So there was actually a sort of the minimalist of that interaction was probably quite good as well. They just were colleagues who were passing in the night, but there wasn't a fanfare to either. Even Kirk was underplaying Pike, who now, we've heard in this version of the timeline, is the Enterprise flagship. So he's the flagship captain of the entire fleet, and yet Kirk was pleasant, but it wasn't like especially referential. But of course, Kirk is a go-getter. You know, he's looking for the top job, literally. Although going from second in command of a random Farragut to flagship captain in 6 years is quite an impressive trajectory.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of the point of Kirk being this captain at the time. So technically, the second time we've actually seen the real Kirk in their timeline. We've seen Kirk twice before, once in Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Both Kirks, there's an alternate version to start with, and then we get the real Kirk at the end when Lon contacts him to talk about, well, to make sure he's safe or whatever, and that things are all right. And then, of course, the other one was the season finale of season 1, where we get another alternate Kirk, which is captain of the Farragut at that point. So this is the first like real in-universe actual Kirk. And I think he did a pretty good job. Same with Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I say Tomorrow a lot when we talk about these. I think he did a pretty good Kirk. I saw, again, some little, Kirk William Shatnerisms in his reactions to things. He does like to talk with his hands. He's very expressive. I don't know if anybody's noticed that, but it's interesting. So yeah, I think he did a pretty good job as a younger Kirk, and I take back what I said in season 1 about him not having the gravitas for Kirk. I think he does. He's one of those acquired tastes. He's got to grow on you a little bit.
There's definitely the gentle, powerful smugness of knowing he's a talented officer that comes across in these scenes. He doesn't have to prove himself. He's already doing well, and that's a Kirkism, right? He's just he's made it. He's doing well. He's happy to be there. That comes across. I still don't see much of Shatner or Pine in his performance. He very much feels like he's doing his own thing. He's taken the idea of the character and he's just doing his own thing. Whereas I see a lot of Nimoy and Ethan Peck, but of course that's more of a distinct characterization. So he's fun-ish to watch, but I would probably put him third tier. But also Shatner was inventing, by its very definition, this guy's before, so he's laying the groundwork for what the other guy did better and more confidently. I don't know. Yeah, he's okay. Fun to watch. And then obviously Uhura and Kirk meeting. First meeting, don't hit on me. Second meeting, you punch me in the face.
I think that'd be referenced again at some point. You never get the feel that they really know each other that well in TOS, but I mean, those, who are in Chekhov and Sulu and them are all kind of side characters. They're very much sidelined. It just seems like they would have a little bit of a deeper connection now, and it will be referenced at least once. But, again,
well, they can't. It's fine. They can't reference it in the 60s because it hadn't happened
exactly.
Yet. Kind of hard to do that.
Exactly. I know. I understand this. However, you never get the feeling that they kind of had that, some kind of exciting adventure together.
I mean, by Star Trek 3, you get She'll Do Anything for them as a team, and then you get that chemistry factor. But that's after the show, obviously. But as I said in another review, it's kind of like first meeting for one day. They don't see them in 6 years, and they both change as people. Come board, it's like, oh hey, because it's not as if they have. Because what builds a relationship is a lot of stuff in common. A trauma, an event can bond you, but doesn't necessarily equate you to going out having dinner, drinks. And if you don't do those things, then you go from being, oh, I knew you one time 7 years ago, to, hey, Uhura, hi, Captain. Because they haven't built on that relationship. So I can still see it not developing much further, etc. Arn's the tricky one, obviously, because they actually have like this interesting chemistry, which kind of goes beyond. Certainly, I both chuckled internally and didn't like that she thought he was hitting on her, because he is that, but he wasn't. It's sad that anyone just being nice equals hitting on, because he could just be saying hello. But she was in a vulnerable place, so she's not.
The cookie joke was interesting. Like, you don't want to cook. Now you sound crazy.
Although she shouldn't have walked out and said, "You're stupid cookie." Should have. Okay, now to business. That would have been more. Shouldn't have put down the cookie, because rare to have a fresh batch of cookies. And he got her the last one, Stuart. Didn't have one for himself. He was sacrificing a lot for her.
He just said that. There was 3. He ate 2 on the way, and then this seemed like more of a gentleman. He's like, oh, there's only one, we should share it.
I'd say punching in the face is daft. Especially she knocked him down, which seems odd because she's quite a small lady. but she was.
Well, it was a shot to the nose, and a nose is painful. It'll take you down, especially if you're not expecting it.
But I like his reaction to it. It's like he's even if you can punch him in the face, he's really smart. So he instantly got the real reason, and he instantly worked out she's the catalyst, and like he was on the ball in a way that you know he could be, but you don't often get to see. So that was a good, hell of a way to get them together. But once they were together, he was on the ball and he was doing, second in command level stuff, problem solving, people understanding, really, really, competent officer. You wonder why he made second in command. Yeah. So overall, good first meetings. Overall, with some slight confusing notes, but at the end of the day, it is its own show, its own visual idea of what canon is, and it changes storylines. Gorn war that definitely never happened in TOS. So it's all kind of a pinch of salt on that cookie.
Anyway, yeah, comment down below what you guys thought about these first meetings. Anything we pointed out that you want to talk about, or anything we missed and you want to comment about, please do so in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell icon to all so you don't miss any content. It's important, guys.
Once you're there on this content of Trekyards, then you can support us directly to make more content for even more years to come. It helps get to that 10-year mark. Goodness. Super chatting on our lives is a great way of being direct communication and put your opinion, thought, process through. Or you can super thanks on any video. Our entire back catalogue of all the damn videos. There's a lot. Or you can do monthly at Patreon/Trekyards, or join the channel here on Trekyards on YouTube. Any and all helps. Well, thank you for any and all in advance. Thank you.
That's right. And if it's your first time meeting us, welcome aboard. Please subscribe. Anyway, on that note, he is Commander Cockings.
Foley.
See you guys later.
Bye, guys.